Namaskar, dear learners. I welcome you all to the 7th module of the online course on Introduction to Functional English entitled Ideas of Communication. So you have already got a fair idea about the importance of English as a language of communication, the essentials of professional communication. Moreover, you have got some idea about the importance of skills in 21st century in our previous modules. So let us now discuss the concept of communication in general and its types. Because when you learn about the various aspects of communication, only then you will be able to use the English language for effective communication. So let's begin the module with the learning objectives. So the main objectives of this module are to discuss the concept of communication and its significance, to identify the types and the channels of communication, to discuss the process of communication, to describe the communication network, and at the end of the module, we'll discuss about the barriers of communication. So what is communication? Communication plays an important role in every person's life, whether it is personal or official. Communication is usually defined as the transmission of information. Communication process of transforming or transferring information and facts from one party to the other. In an organization, it is through communication that all the important functions like controlling, managing, information giving, instructing, then directing and mentoring takes place, and these all are carried out through communication. So to avoid grievances or misunderstanding, it is very important that a proper and correct communication takes place, and mutual trust and understanding can only be achieved through meaningful communication. So the root of the word communication in Latin is communicare, which means to share or to make common. Communication is defined as the process of understanding and sharing meaning, which is defined by Pearson and Nelson in the year 2000. So communication is the process of transmitting and exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, emotions between individuals or groups. And it plays a crucial role in our everyday lives and is essential for effective interpersonal relationships, successful teamwork, and professional success. Communication involves both verbal and non-verbal elements such as speaking, writing, listening, body language, gestures, and facial expressions. When we talk about communication skills, it refers to the abilities and techniques that individuals use to convey and receive information effectively. So these skills encompasses various aspects including speaking clearly, listening actively, writing coherently, using appropriate body language, expressing ideas and opinions confidently, and to understand and interpret non-verbal cues, which we will discuss in the next modules. So any individual in the field of academics, or maybe in a technical field, or in business or media, maybe in a healthcare service or service sector, so developing strong communication skill is very vital for several reasons like academic success, career advancement, networking and social interactions, personal development. So let us now discuss it one by one. So it is important for academic success. So when we talk about academic success, effective communication is crucial for academic achievement. If someone is a student or a learner, they need to communicate their ideas, thoughts, their questions clearly to their professors or teachers or maybe classmates or their group members. So strong communication skills can enhance their participation in class discussions, It improves their presentation abilities and help them express their knowledge and understanding in exams or in assignments. Career advancement. So communication skills are highly valued in the professional world. Employers often seek candidates with strong communication abilities, as they are essential for effective teamwork, maybe client interactions, presentations, and written communication. And when undergraduate students who develop these excellent communication skills, they have an advantage in their job market and can enhance their chances of career success. Building a strong network of contacts and establishing meaningful relationships are also very important for, personal and professional growth. And effective communication skills help the learners connect with their peers, their professors, their teammates, and professionals in their field. Whether it's networking events, whether they are networking their internships or social gatherings, the ability to communicate confidently and engage with the meaningful conversations can open doors to valuable opportunities. Communication skills are not only important for academic and professional contexts, but also for personal growth. Developing effective communication skills help individuals express their emotions, their needs, their concerns, leading to better interpersonal relationships and a deeper understanding of others. Good communication also fosters empathy, active listening, and the ability to understand diverse perspectives. By now, we have got some idea of the meaning of communication, communication skills, its concept. Now let us discuss about the features of communication. So, when we talk about the features of communication, it involves two people. It is a continuous activity. It is pervasive function. Communication involves both information and understanding. Now let us discuss these features one by one. Communication always involves two people, a sender and a receiver. Then it is a continuous activity. Communication often considered a continuous activity because it involves a continuous flow of information, continuous flow of ideas, continuous flow of messages between individuals or groups. And communication can occur through various channels and take place over the extended period. Let us take an example. In a conversation between two people, the communication process continues as they take turns speaking and listening, exchanging ideas, asking questions, and responding to each other. Communication is pervasive in our daily lives and across various aspects of society. It is a fundamental aspect of human interaction and plays a very crucial role in personal, social, professional, and cultural context. Communication also involves both information and understanding. So, effective communication is the process of sending a message in such a way that the message received is as close in meaning as possible to the message intended. Now, it is very important to discuss the significance of communication because it plays a very crucial role in our day-to-day life. So, here are some key reasons why communication is important. Communication allows individuals to express their thoughts, their ideas, and their opinions to others. It enables us to share our knowledge, our experience, our emotions, fostering understanding and connection with others. Effective communication is essential for building and nurturing relationship because it helps in establishing trust, resolving conflicts and creating a sense of belongingness. Through communication only, we develop a social bond and strengthen personal and professional connections. Communication is vital for sharing information and disseminating knowledge. Whether it's conveying news, instructions, or important updates, communication ensures that people stay informed and aware of what is happening around them. In various aspects of life, such as work or a group project, effective communication is essential for collaboration and teamwork. It allows individuals to coordinate their efforts, share their ideas, assign tasks, and work towards a common goal. Again, communication plays a very important and critical role in problem solving. Through effective communication only, individuals can discuss issues, gather different perspectives, brainstorm solutions, and reach consensus. It facilitates clear and effective decision-making process. Again, communication skills are essential for personal and professional growth. As I have already discussed, communication provides a platform to express emotions, seek support, and receive empathy from others. It allows individuals to share their joys, sorrows, fears, concerns, which can help in relieving stress, building resilience, and maintaining emotional well-being. So communication is also important for one's well-being. Again, when we talk about communication, it is a key factor in success across different fields. Whether it is business, whether it is education, healthcare, or in any field, communication skills contribute to professional advancement, positive relationships, and effective leadership. It helps in bridging cultural gaps, promoting understanding between people from different backgrounds. It also allows individuals to learn about diverse perspectives, tradition, values, tolerance, and global awareness. So in summary, communication is a fundamental aspect of daily life that enables connection, understanding, and collaborations. It influences our relationships, personal growth, and success in various spheres, ultimately contributing to a fulfilling and well-rounded life. Now, let us discuss about the process of communication. So when we talk about process of communication, it is not only the transfer of message from one person to another, but there are also certain other factors that affect this simple passing of information from one person to the other. The diagram that you are seeing in the screen illustrates the flow of communication from the sender to the receiver, encompassing the process of encoding, message transmission through a channel, decoding, and then feedback. It emphasizes the interactive and dynamic nature of communication process. So the basic process of communication involves certain steps that you are seeing in this diagram. So let us now discuss the steps one by one. First, there should be a sender. The sender is anyone who wishes to convey an idea, to seek information, to express a thought or emotion. Then, encoding. The sender encodes the idea by selecting symbols with which he or she can compose a message. Then the message takes place. The message is what we want to convey, what is conveyed by the sender. It is the heart of communication. Then there should be a channel. The message is sent through a channel, which is communication carrier. And this channel is the medium, or we can say is the method through which the message is transmitted from the sender to the receiver. It can be, face-to-face conversation, maybe by phone calls or by email or by written letters, etc. Then this message through the channel is received by the receiver. The receiver is the person who is supposed to receive the message. After the receiver received the message, then the decoding steps takes place. Decoding is the process by which the receiver translates the message into the terms that are meaningful to him or her. Then the feedback takes place. Feedback is the response or reaction from the receiver to the sender who has sent the message. It helps the sender to measure whether the message was received and understood clearly and as intended. Feedback can be verbal or non-verbal, and it allows for clarification and adjustments of the communication if necessary. In this process of communication, you know, there could be noise. Noise is any type of interference with a message that hampers the sharing of meaning between the sender and the receiver. So when we talk about noise, it can be any kind of interference or barrier, that may hamper or affect the communication process. It can be external, such as background noise, or it can be internal, like distractions, language barrier, or misinterpretation of non-verbal cues. So these are some of the internal noise that hinders the accurate transmission or reception of the message. Let us hear a conversation between two people to know about the process of communication. Here, the male voice is the person A and the female voice is person B. And they are having a conversation to enhance a user experience feature for their project.
Good morning. How was your weekend?
Good morning. My weekend was great. I went hiking with some friends and enjoyed the beautiful weather. How about you?
Sounds wonderful. I had a relaxing weekend at home, catching up on some reading and spending time with family. By the way, I wanted to discuss the upcoming project we are working on.
Sure, I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
Well, I think we should consider incorporating a new feature to enhance the user experience.
That's an interesting idea. Can you provide more details about the feature you have in mind?
Of course, the feature would allow users to customize their profiles with personalized themes and colors.
I like the concept. It could definitely add value to our project. Do you think it's feasible to implement within our timeline?
I believe so. I have done some initial research and it seems achievable.
Okay, let's discuss it with the rest of the team during our next meeting. We can gather their input and assess the feasibility together.
Sure, I'll schedule the meeting for later this week. In the meantime, if you come across any relevant information or ideas, feel free to share them with the team.
Will do. Thanks for initiating this discussion, and I'm excited to see how this new feature could elevate our project.
You're welcome. I appreciate your input. Let's keep the lines of communication open throughout the project to ensure its success.
So, dear learners, you have just heard a conversation, and in this conversation, all the components of the communication process are present. Person A, who is the sender, initiates the conversation and brings up the topic of discussion. The message, which revolves around the idea of incorporating a new feature in the project to enhance the user experience, is the message. Then person A formulates and conveys the message, ensures that it is clear and understandable to person B, who is the receiver. Then there is a channel also. The conversation takes place verbally. It may be face-to-face or through a communication medium such as phone call or a video chat. Then person B, who is the receiver, receives the message, interprets the message, understands the message, and the understanding of the proposal for the new feature has been taken up by person B. Again, the receiver, person B, actively listens and responds to the message, engaging in the conversation and also provides feedback. Again, person B expresses interest and raises questions regarding the feasibility of the proposed feature. Then, dear learners, the conversation takes place without any significant noise interference. So, there was no noise in this conversation. Overall, this short conversation demonstrates the essential components of the communication process, showcasing the exchange of information, active listening, and feedback between the two individuals. Now, dear learners, let us listen to a short conversation with noise of honking of the car, which is being the interference, that is the noise. In this short conversation, the male voice is person A and the female voice is of person B. And in this conversation, the noise in the background creates a challenge for person B to hear and understand person A's message. So, dear learners, let us now listen to this conversation.
Did you hear about the change in the meeting time?
Sorry, what? I can barely hear over all this noise. Is the meeting cancelled?
Oh no, the meeting time has been changed to 3 pm instead of 2 pm.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I will update my schedule. The noise of the car horn is so loud that I can barely hear you.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure you were aware.
Okay, thanks.
See you.
So, dear learners, you have just listened to the conversation between two people. So, despite the noise, person A manages to convey the information about the changed meeting time, and person B acknowledges the same. And this conversation is kept brief and to the point due to the noise interference. So now let us discuss about communication networks. So what is communication network? Communication network is referred to the pattern of communication flow within an organization or in a formal or informal group. So let us discuss the communication network. First is the chain network. In a chain network, communication flows linearly from one individual to the next in a sequential pattern. It follows a hierarchical structure where information is passed from the top bottom to bottom up. And this type of network is common in any organization with a formal and a centralized structure. As I have already discussed, in this type of communication network, the message is passed from one person to another, forming a linear chain of communication. Here in this example, A represents the starting point, B, C, D represents an intermediate node, and E represents the end point of the chain network. Then let us discuss about the wheel network. In a wheel network, a central person acts as a hub or intermediary through whom all the communication flows. All members communicate with the central person who then disseminates the information to others. This type of network is often seen in organization with a strong leader or a central figure responsible for decision making. Let us understand this type of network with an example. Imagine a group of friends sitting in a circle with one person. Let's call this person C in the center. So each person in the circle is connected to C. Whenever someone wants to share a message with the entire group, they pass it to C in the center, who then distributes it to everyone else in the circle. In this example, C acts as the central hub or node, and all the other friends are connected to C. The communication in this network revolves around C as the central point. Now let us discuss the next network, which is the circle network. So in a circle network, communication flows among group of members in a circular pattern. Each member communicates with the individuals adjacent to them, forming a continuous loop. This type of network encourages equal participation and collaborations among all members. Again, let us discuss this network with an example. Imagine a group of friends sitting in a circle where each person is directly connected to the two adjacent individuals. Let us say there are 5 friends named A, B, C, D and E. A is connected to B, B is connected to C, C is connected to D, D is connected to E, and finally E is connected back to A. In this circle network, any person can communicate directly with the two neighbors in the circle. For instance, A can directly communicate with B and E. Similarly, B can communicate with A and C, C can communicate with B and D, and so on. This arrangement forms a closed loop, creating a circular network where communication can flow from the starting point, that is A, to the end point, that is E. Now let us discuss all channel network. In an all-channel network, communication flows freely and directly between all the members of the group. It allows for open communication and equal participation, as everyone can communicate with each other without any restrictions. This type of network is common in maybe a small team or groups with high levels of trust and cooperation. Let us understand this type of network with again an example. Imagine a group of 5 friends, again A, B, C, D and E, where each person is connected to every other person in the group. In this all-channel network, any person can communicate directly with any other person in the group. For instance, A can communicate directly with B, C, D and E. B can communicate with A, C, D and E, and so on for each person in the network. The communication channels are open between all the pairs of individuals, allowing the unrestricted communication among all the members of the group. And in this example, the network structure enables efficient and direct communication between any pair of individuals, facilitating collaborations and information exchange among all members simultaneously. Next is the Y network. In a Y network type of a communication, the communication flows from the central person to the 2 or more subordinates, who then communicate amongst themselves. This type of network is often seen in organizations with multiple teams or maybe departments reporting to a central authority. The Y network is similar to that of the chain, except that the 2 members fall outside the chain. In a Y network, let us take an example. Members like A and B can send information to C. When they can receive information from one, C and D can exchange information. You can see in the diagram, E can receive information from D but cannot send any message or information. Let us take an example of 2 assistant principals, maybe A and B, who report to the principal C. Again, the principal C in turn reports it to the assistant superintendent, that is D, who again report to other superintendent, that is E. So dear learners, it is really very important to note that communication networks can vary within an organization, within a group, or may even combine elements of different networks types in a group or in an organization. The choice of communication network can influence the efficiency, the effectiveness and the dynamics of communication. So by now you have got some idea about the process of communication, communication networks. Now let us discuss about the methods of communication. Communication methods refer to the various ways in which information, ideas, messages are exchanged between individuals or groups. So in the screen you can see here are some of the commonly used communication methods, that is the verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, visual communication, electronic communication, interpersonal communication, mass communication. Again, we have this formal communication and informal communication. Let us discuss it one by one. So dear learners, it is important to choose the most appropriate communication method based on the nature of the message, the intended audience, the desired outcome. So different methods have their strength and their weaknesses also. An effective communication often involves a combination of methods to ensure clear and effective and efficient information transfer. So dear learners, now let us have an idea about the barriers to communication. So there are several factors that may disturb or disrupt the communication process or come in a way of an effective communication. So these are some of the barriers of communication. Let us discuss it one by one. So first is the semantic barrier. Many of our communication problems are semantic in nature, as the same word may convey a different meaning to different people. For example, the word productivity may mean effective usage of resource for a manager, but for a worker, it may mean doing more work to get the same amount of salary. Then there is a structural barrier. There are various types of structural barrier. So first is the hierarchy. When you talk about an organization, when an organization grows, its structure expands, creating many communication problems. Messages, have to be passed through several hierarchies. It follows that something may be lost or added by transmission at each stage of process. Messages are likely to be delayed or distorted. Then status. Open and free flow of communication is also affected by status, relationship in organization and in day-to-day life also. Then in an organization, specialization is also a structural barrier. Too much fragmentation of work causes people to be more loyal to their particular department than to their organization as a whole. Then let us discuss about the interpersonal barriers. Sometimes we can't express effectively. So some people cannot communicate effectively because they cannot use their words and their personality effectively. Then there is again filtering is one of the interpersonal barrier. Any attempt to alter or color information to present a more favorable impression is called filtering. So it is a one kind of barrier. Then credibility. Credibility is based on person's competence in the subject area being communicated and is based on the degree of confidence in the person. And inattention is again one of the interpersonal barrier that we often hear but do not listen. So this is one of the interpersonal barrier. Again, perceptual differences. Differences in the past experience or maybe educational background, emotions, values. So this affect each person's perception of a message that is, important to them. Jealousy is also one of the barrier. It plays an important role in reducing the effectiveness of communication. Sometimes the competent individuals are viewed as a threat to the security of the peers or the subordinates or friends. Then sometimes it happens that information is overloaded. The effectiveness of communication is likely to hamper when someone allows themselves to be inundated with bundles of data. Then again, emotion is also one of the barrier. How the receiver feels at the time of receipt of information influences effectively on how he or she interprets the information. Again, time pressure is also one of the barrier. So sometimes it happens that someone, subjected to time pressure because of decisions, must be made within a specific deadline. Such time pressure can create communication problem. So dear learners, with this, we have come to the end of Module 7. In this module, we have learned that the different aspects of communication in general with a view of making you understand the fact that effective communication go hand in hand with linguistic competence. Once you know the aspects of spoken and written English, it's always easier for you to communicate. So dear learners, in the next modules, we shall discuss important aspects of communication like communication skills in a better way, oral communication, effective communication and so on. So see you again. Till then, bye.